Bane makes his way into the Absolute Universe with Absolute Batman issue number 9. Now, a few months ago, his appearance in Absolute Batman was revealed with the cover of issue 9, and there was a whole lot of drama, but now he's finally here. We actually get to see how he's going to function in this universe, and he is ginormous, even bigger than originally thought, because that was the whole thing when he was first revealed was, is he going to be a new take on the character? Is he going to be much different? No, he's just going to be even bigger, which I love because Absolute Batman has just been insane, crazy, and dumb and fun. So I just love just the dumber the better for this universe. So let's get into this comic. I would say it's worth reading. It's worth checking out. I'm just saying that before I get into the spoilers, just in case you haven't read it yet. So there's your warning. We're getting into spoilers for this comic. The issue starts off with some guys negotiating a peace treaty for their country, and then Bane comes in and is like, no, you guys are going to stay at war, and he just kills one of them, and he quotes history, and it seems that he's a very smart fellow. He's not just a brute, but the way he Kool-Aid Mans through the wall to make a door for himself is pretty hilarious. You see how gigantic he is. Like, this guy is huge. And then we see that he gets a phone call to go to Gotham, and then he goes to Gotham, and, well, before he goes to Gotham, we go to Gotham, and we see what Batman's been up to. So, in the previous arc, we had a kind of a little filler arc in between. So, you know, you had the Black Mask arc, and then Nick Dragotta took a couple issues off. You had a filler arc about Mr. Freeze with a backup artist, and it was all right, but it was definitely missing Nick Dragotta, and it was, you know, just a couple issues. It was not a whole full-fledged, like, 6-story arc. And now we're back to a big arc again. This is the beginning of it with Bane. And in that little Mr. Freeze arc, Waylon got captured. Waylon, a.k.a. Killer Croc, or who he's going to be, or potentially probably who he is in the main universe. And Waylon in this universe, if you don't know, is good friends with Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne's good friends with a lot of his rogues from the main universe. In this, they've been childhood buddies, so he's very upset that someone took Waylon. He doesn't know where he is or what happened to him, so he has been just going on a rampage across Gotham, just beating the tar out of every single criminal he can find, because remember, this Batman isn't the world's greatest detective. He's not so good at the whole figuring things outside. He's less magnifying glass and more magnifying smash. Like, this guy just wants to go and beat the tar out of anyone he can see, and that's his way of figuring things out. Instead of like, there's clues here. This is where Waylon disappeared. I'll figure it out. He just, there's a criminal. I'm gonna just beat him till he talks. Which, you know, main Batman does that too, but this Batman goes just crazy. So much so that Gotham runs out of ambulances to transport the injured criminals that he is crippling. And they start using ride shares, like, you know, like Uber and Lyft and stuff. And even that gets too busy. So then they have to start using like rickshaws and stuff. And here's where we get a cameo from Dick Grayson. We see that Dick is a EMT. And he's a full-grown adult, so it doesn't look like there's really any age difference between him and Batman, because we're Batman, this is a young adult. So that's one difference for this, other than the fact that, you know, he's not in a circus or nothing. He's he's an EMT, but that's it. We just literally just get one panel of him saying, screw Batman, and that's it. And then we see Batman start talking to Barbara Gordon, because Barbara Gordon's a cop, and she's kind of filling in for the Jim Gordon role in this book, where he's like, you're a good cop, that's why I trust you. So he asks her for information on Waylon. She gives him some info. Then she's like, this is who took him. And it turns out Arc M, which is a sort of project that we've seen teased throughout these issues, and Alfred gives us a little more information on it, just talking about how it's a black site, and they don't have too much to go on right now, but they figure out a way in, because this Bruce, he's not a great detective, but one thing he has is blueprints for literally everything. He just said if there's anything that exists near Gotham, he's got a blueprint for it. So he pulls out some blueprints. He's like, I've got a way in. So they plan their way in to get in there. And by they, I mean Bruce, Alfred, and all his friends, like Oswald Cobblepot, Edward Nygma, you know, all them that are his childhood buddies. Because they know he's Batman now. He revealed it to them. And now they're in on when he does Batman things, especially because they're all friends with Waylon, so he's letting them know what the plan is. And they don't all agree on it, but they're like, you know, we do need to help Waylon. Then we get a little flashback going over a time when Waylon was all happy because he's getting a title fight because Waylon's a boxer, and he's telling Bruce about it and how happy he was, because they do this like every issue. We get some little flashback to see how close Bruce was with his boys, with his friends. So we get a little bit of that. We also get to see Bruce's mom. We get to see what Martha's up to, because Commissioner Gordon, who is Mayor Gordon, didn't get reelected as mayor. So he failed, and now he's like Martha, because Martha was always helping him with that. She's like, Martha, now I'll support you. You've supported me for a decade. Whatever you want to do, I'll support you. And she's like, I don't want to run for mayor. He's like, yeah, maybe not that, but whatever you want to do. So they're setting things in motion for Martha to become a big figure in Gotham. So who knows? We'll see what she gets up to. Then we see Batman go and try to break into Arkham, and he does. He goes underwater, he breaks in, and we see that Arkham is absolutely ginormous. It is huge. The sheer scale of this place. And it's a nice page from Nick Dragotta. It looks great. Nick Dragotta has killed it in every one of these issues, and it's nice to have him back because when you have they haven't really gotten the best backup artists for these issues. For when Nick Dragotta's not here, it's not terrible, but it's a clear step down from Nick Dragotta. They haven't really. I kind of wish they'd find someone else for a backup artist. I wish they'd find a good 1-2 punch because you don't necessarily have to find someone as good as Nick Dragotta, but someone around there, someone to where when he's gone, you don't feel such a hole in the book. Because those Mr. Freeze issues weren't bad. It's just, man, it's like it's such a step down from Nick Dragotta that it's when I would pick up those issues, I'd kind of put them to the back of my stack and be like, I'll read everything else first. To where when it's a Nick Dragotta Absolute Batman issue, it's like, this is at the top. This is one of the first issues I'm reading when I pick up my books on it every Wednesday, you know? Anyways, while Bruce is making his way through Arkham, Alfred's supposed to be helping him on the other end. Alfred's his guy on the computer. Alfred's the one talking to him. But Alfred's gone completely silent during all this, and he's just thinking in his head about some things that happened to him when he was a spy and how something's happened to his brothers in arms. And we see a guy with an eye patch, which I don't know if that's supposed to be anyone. Maybe it's Deathstroke, because as far as thinking of, guys with eye patches in the DC universe, that's the first one I think of is Slade Wilson. So who knows? We also see some like schematics, it looks like, or some schematics, probably the wrong word. We see some stuff for Bane. So when he was smaller and like just some early things for him that Alfred's looking at. And Alfred just is talking about the horrors that Bruce is going to face. Well, not talking. He's thinking about them. But he's not talking to Bruce. Because the whole time Bruce is like, all right, Alfred, I'm breaking in. Okay, I see this thing here. I'm taking a left at this thing. Alfred, Pennyworth? What's going on? Pennyworth? And nothing. And then he turns a corner and he runs into Bane. Bane is huge. Obviously, Bane is always huge. But Batman in this universe is 6'6", and Bane is even taller than him. He's even bigger. So they get into a little fight. It's not even a contest. Bane is cool, calm, and collected the whole time, which is a theme for him this entire issue, because when he showed up in the beginning and he crushed that dude's face, he was very calm. He was not angry. He was explaining things and talking in a cool demeanor. And same here. He's talking to Batman. Batman throws some punches at him. He's like, oh, Muay Thai, nice. And then he Ty Lee's him. Ty Lee from Avatar Last Airbender, he just disables him by hitting his pressure points to where just everything goes numb and he can't throw punches anymore. And he's like, don't worry, you got another arm. Oh, both your arms are out. You got 2 legs. Oh, okay, buddy, now you got 1 leg. Let's see what you got. And Batman's like just yelling at him like, screw you, and just like going at him. It doesn't work. So it was interesting because he's this gigantic brute. We saw him crush a dude's head at the beginning of the issue. We saw him create his own doorway with his body. And here he's all finesse. Like, he's blocking, he's freaking weaving, he's bobbing and weaving, he's using his fingers to touch pressure points, he's very precise, he's not just manhandling him until the end. After he does all this, he goes and he just manhandles him. But the reason he does that is because Bruce starts shit-talking him even more. He's like, that's all you got? I could beat your ass on 1 leg, you juiced up freak, or whatever he calls him. And then Bane's like, dude, I'm not even juiced right now. I haven't even used this stuff. And then he hits the juice, and he becomes ginormous. He's like 20 feet tall, it looks like. He's like 15, 20 feet tall. He is huge and grotesque looking. And he grabs Batman and tells him, let's get you prepped for surgery, because now Batman's a part of Arkham. Whatever the hell they're doing there, their experiments at this black site, now Batman's going to be a part of it. And yeah, he just got his ass absolutely handed to him without any juice. So that was interesting. That was an interesting little, not really a fight because it was very one-sided. It's like that Kingpin versus Ben Urich. That's what this was reminiscent of. I personally thought it was a good issue. I'm interested to see where things go from here. I'm really interested to see how the finale goes, because I hope it's satisfying when he beats Bane, because he is. And I hope it's not just some stupid way that he beats him, because right now, he just couldn't even touch Bane. Like, it wasn't even a fight. It wasn't even close. But it is interesting to see because Batman just manhandled everyone he's come across. Like, when he fought Black Mask got his licks in on Bruce, he was still able to ragdoll him. And that's like his fighting style because he's so big in this absolute universe. But he's finally ran into someone bigger. And I like the difference because Black Mask was a very slender guy, a very slick guy, and didn't have any powers and was real smart. And now we've got this gigantic powerhouse that does have powers because that's what essentially Venom is in this. So he's enhanced and he's different. And I like that we're having a different style villain. And we'll see, what's going on with Arkham, and we'll see what's going on with Bane and why he's like this and what type of character he is. Because right now, Bane's like so calm. It seems like he's just doing a job. Because like at the beginning, he answers a phone call and gets told to go to Gotham. We'll see what type of character he is. Is he just like a truly evil guy? What's his motivations? Is he just like, hey, this is just a job, I'm getting paid for it? Who knows? But if I had to bet money right now, I'd say the way he beats him is him and Waylon team up. I would bet that Waylon is going to get killer crocified by Arkham, but then in the end he'll team up with Batman to take down Bane. That would be my guess. That seems to be the setup right now because I doubt Waylon's just dead, and we've already known that Waylon's a great boxer, so the two of them, especially an enhanced Waylon, could take on Bane. That's my guess. We'll see where it goes. But it was a good issue. I enjoyed it. I've been enjoying all of Absolute Batman. It's been really fun. And this Bane is just a monster. But yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. Please let me know in the comments below if you read this issue, what'd you think about it. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it. And I'll see y'all later.
Skinny boy, saucy boy, I be running to the bank. Yeah, you know I hit the gas in the whip full tank. Riding past the ocean while I'm listening to Frank.